Hey y'all, I'm Niccara.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome to another episode of But Make It Books.
A podcast where we are bookishly healing through life.
I'm proud of us
And we
because
back.
we did that.
Yo, that was the first one.
Yeah,
Off
and I
rip,
did it
real
on one
talk.
take.
Yeah, you did. Yo, props to you for real, because you struggle. You do. It's okay. This
So
was
we
a
cut-
celebration. I'm just saying, you know.
Okay, cool. It's nice or whatever. Cool. I love how we're doing this today. We come back to a new season, just radical honesty.
Radical honesty,
Okay,
you know what
and
I'm saying?
self-acceptance.
Is it a new season, or was it like our bodies kind of telling us like, hey, yo, you got to do, there's things to do. Like, you just got to go do things.
I mean, yes, but I think sometimes you like just push yourself so much because we feel like we're robotic and we have to do all of these things. And I did the robot move. But I feel like I guess it was a break. We're saying the same thing. I'm saying nothing.
No, I mean, I guess it sounds like, you know, what the break, because ultimately it was, what the break meant for both of us.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I definitely don't feel like I took a break, right?
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, it's like we were not doing this for a little while. And it is a moment of like, oh, wow. Yeah. Sound tests.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Positionings, lighting.
Yes. All the
Hair.
things.
All that stuff.
Look, listen,
You know?
Linda, listen. And like getting myself together to be like, oh no, I'm going to be on camera.
Right. You know, which is, hair. So,
Yeah. We're going to still drag. It's okay. I was told I can't wear my hat. I wasn't not told I couldn't wear my hat. It gave me a shadow.
you
And
would have had to work too much, trust me. It was the
correct.
right
And that
call.
dermaplane on my face worked. So y'all going to
There you
see
go,
this new
period.
skincare.
I didn't want to say nothing, but since you said something, I did notice.
Well, I've been using this new collagen like overnight thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so it starts off like really, really like full of like skincare. And then it melts into a film into your face. And then you take it off when you wake up. And you just come up with glass skin.
You have consistently spoken about random, like,
Look.
experiences.
Look, listen,
I'll say
listen. The further away it gets me from being next to a needle, aka Botox, I will try everything. But best believe
Word.
I will be Botox baddie.
Lord
Okay,
Jesus,
call
Lord.
me Botox baddie, BB if you're nasty.
And so is that your intro? Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
She's Botox baddie.
Yeah.
Bookish
So
Botox baddie. Boom.
yes, trademark. Don't take it. Okay, so how we always do everything is, should we just go right to the icebreaker?
Hello.
Okay. So if your life right now was a chapter in a book, what would the title be?
Well, it's a snowball, right?
Yeah, this is our snowball. Oh wow. I know I'm going myself something, y'all.
Can't get nobody a break. See?
No. You just gotta.
Title of my life right now.
Yeah, like a chapter of your book of your life.
Chapter.
Just a chapter,
Just
not
a chapter.
not
okay, thank
your
you. I was
novel.
doing too much. I was like,
Never too much. Too much.
oh gosh, it's something around the lines of like, it's like new beginnings, but like new spelled like new, like new
Okay.
and you beginnings.
Okay.
You know, it's I don't know. It's very I don't know. There's a lot of like anything. It's been a lot of variations on new as in like we're coming back different, or some of like Phoenix rising from the ashes, some of the trying just new things, some you get what you've been asking for, praying for, whatever, and now what the actual receiving of that is a new feeling.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of new all around, you know. So
Wait,
it's like,
and you.
yeah, like new beginnings.
Yeah.
You know, and because it's been, you know, I say that because it's been like very much make it my own. Very just decolonized. Very you know, very much culturally centric.
Yeah.
And various cultures
Yeah.
centered around that. So I don't know. It's been good. Good little chapter of this book, I think. I'm excited for y'all.
Oh, not for, okay. Big purr. If I were to name the chapter of my book, it would be, of the chapter right now in my life, I have two. It's like either cleansing, cleansing and purification, or it would be I gotta put me first, Lucius. And I think both are the same. So I'm like really actually letting a lot of stuff go. Like if there are certain things I just can't. I used to get really bogged down, like about everything, and I'm getting better just being like, it is what it is, or I can't change someone, or I will not let somebody disrespect my boundaries. And what happens if you do? Am I gonna stand firm? Am I standing on business? And now I'm learning, yeah, I need to learn how to stand on business because y'all not gonna play me. Y'all not gonna play me.
No, go put me.
And the standing on business too is like also like, I should stick to the goals that I had for myself when we took the break and then keep those goals going. And so I am proud of myself. Like I went on a writer's retreat. I've been writing. I finally shared one of my first personal essays. I was like deeply, deeply, deeply personal. Um, I'm like really doing the things and remaking myself because I don't have to just be one thing. So that's nice.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's nice. Exactly.
You
Boom, boom,
know.
boom.
So we did take a little break or whatever. So we going to talk about what did we do slash read on that break. So how did you spend your time away? Like, did any books or experiences during the break change your perspective on life or reading or how you read?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really like intentionally diversified like the type of content that I pick up.
Okay.
Um, and when I say type, I really am talking more so about format.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as well as stories. No, actual stories as well.
Okay.
Um, because I've read more graphic novels
Yes.
recently. Um, I'm very much like the historical fiction person or the
Mm-hmm.
memoir person, and things haven't really changed.
Yes.
But at the same time, I have like, I've read like a lot more. I've read a lot more poetry. I've always been a fan of poetry, but I've consumed a bit more lately. But then in addition to that, graphic novels. So I think for me, it's like, because I also haven't read a lot of, I haven't read a lot in general
Right.
recently, but I've read more like articles on
Mm.
like Palestine
Mm.
or um, just I mean I've read a lot more like plays, because I'm always reading
Yeah.
plays and stuff like that. But like, so it's like the book count for me is low. I don't know
Mm.
if you're judging or counting,
No.
whatever, but it's like
It's up to you.
it's right. It's like I don't know, man. It's
Subjective.
just it's interesting how I like it is interesting to see, and it's like I shared with you a little bit. Um, generally, like I'll
Mm.
talk about some highlights, but generally,
Mm-hmm.
my reading year has been kind of mid,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. Like, and so I don't know. It's been,
Mm.
but that's not bad. That's not bad. I think a lot of
Yeah.
it is again that newness.
Mm-hmm.
Just
New.
taking in
New.
different, taking in different kinds of content
Yeah.
more regularly because of certain charges that have been placed before me. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
real.
It's cool.
I
It's been
do.
cool though.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say I've been reading like a maniac. A maniac. So I mean, I set a goal for myself for 15 because I didn't hit 20 last year. So I was like, let me goal set, make it attainable. And then I blew past it. I'm on book 31 right now. But I think also
Okay.
taking taking what you have instilled in me of like if I'm not really feeling it right now, it's okay to put it down and go back later or not come back at all. And so for a minute I was like, I really want to read. I really wanted to read Will. I really wanted to read Jada. So I started off there. And then I really just delved in more into, I ended up in a fantasy kick where fantasy was my go to a lot because of Harry Potter. But I can't wait until Imani takes her for all her money's worth. That that Olympian,
Mm.
I can't, that Olympian boxer.
Mm.
I can't wait till you take all her money. But anyway, neither
Yeah.
here nor there. So yeah, just like really delving into like black fantasy and like expanding my mind in that genre. So really just doing more genre bending than I have in the past has been really, really fun to do. And then also been like staying from a distance in the drama of book talk and bookstagram because it'd be funny. Like I'll be on thread sometimes. I'll be finding out all the tea. I'll be like, Who fighting with who? Who did what? I said, oh my lord, oh my! I did not know there was so much tea. It
And
was
it's like books or like
yeah,
it's
authors like people like fighting like legit like book influence. It's like very much giving makeup YouTube girl culture where I used to see that all the time. But yeah, it's like book talk threads. The authors fight each other, all of that.
wow,
So highly recommend you delve in.
wow, wow. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm grandpa, so you know
Well, you're not.
I am though,
Okay.
so
All
it's
right.
okay.
All right. Well, you tried. You tried. So obviously we did not. We haven't talked. You said your reading year was mid. But what books do you have that were like standouts, at least that you would recommend, or that stuck with you that
That
you have?
stuck with me, yeah, for sure.
Door
What's
behind
the
you.
best way? I guess I don't know if I did this the best way, so we'll do it this way.
It's okay.
But whatever. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at three of my reads now, and it's like all three of them have like that sense about them or what have you. One
Okay.
of them being like, uh, so the essential June Jordan, I guess the collection of some of her works, edited by Jan Heller and Levi and Christoph Heller.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I hadn't, June Jordan was one of those people who it's like one of my big things that I have about Toni Morrison and James Baldwin specifically is that people be like, oh, I love them. Oh,
Yeah.
they're great. But they read one, maybe two of their things.
Yeah.
And so I was like, June Jordan for me was one of those things where it's like over time, little quotes, thanks to social media,
Mm-hmm.
have dropped into my life somewhere or what have you, but like I never took the time to like actually dive in to like
Mm-hmm.
a collection, I'll say, of
Yeah.
what
Of
she's
her
about
work.
and who
Yeah.
she is and so forth. I'm glad I did it. um Again, I just feel like that's something uh we can all do when
Yeah.
it comes to authors
Mm.
and writers in order to get like a full sense of who they are
Mm-hmm.
and what they have to say and why they chose to write it.
Yeah.
And then poetry is a great way to like actually figure that out even more. So June
Okay.
Jordan speaking as a woman, as a black woman, as an activist,
Mm.
in and at this time, I felt important to me to read it recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read this. I read this around May,
Yeah.
so that was an interesting experience. But no, I wish I brought my actual annotated one because
Right.
I had so many pieces that like jumped out at me from this. But no, I mean I have to highlight this because I'm always a big fan of just everybody reading more poetry. And yeah, oh yeah, and then this was, but I did know like yeah, she's written specifically about Palestine,
Mm-hmm.
specifically about Gaza. Um, so I don't know. Definitely, please check out her
Mm-hmm.
as a figure who has done a lot and spoken and written a lot. Um, Similarly, so speaking of other women who are figureheads,
Yes.
um, Asada
Mm-hmm.
Shakur. I read her memoir
Mm-hmm.
for the first time.
Okay.
I hadn't read it yet, and again, this is one of those things where it's like, again, that new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you vulnerable enough to like be somebody who's like admitting that you have not read one of those things
Right.
that are like staples,
Yeah.
because I do agree this is a staple. If you
Mm-hmm.
haven't, I mean it just is like, I mean, but it was hard for all the reasons that I find the black experience to be very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like several, the medical, the prison industrial complex,
Mm-hmm.
familial, but then like there were so many parts of like liberation and
Mm-hmm.
joy that were still woven into this memoir
Yeah.
that like you certainly saw a liberator and a fighter and an activist all
Right.
throughout this piece, not just, you didn't see a prisoner at all,
Right.
not one time. And that's just wild right now because I feel like so many of us uh we do still imprison ourselves in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's like if they imprison the mind, then we're kind of screwed.
Right.
And she certainly was not in that camp.
Right.
And again, poetry was woven into this piece as well, like some of her work, um interviews, the trial
Mm-hmm.
layout, Yeah, I because I kind of just finished this like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
so now I'm talking about it and I'm like reprocessing everything again. It's
So it's
kind of
like bringing
wild.
it
Yeah,
fresh.
it really is.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, just like what an amazing person,
Mm-hmm.
truly. But anyway, I'll move on. So then for our book club, which we launched,
Yes.
I read If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yes.
And this was also one of those ones where it's like I've read most of James Baldwin's stuff, but this was one of the ones where I said I hadn't read this one yet, and I also haven't seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, gotta do at least one, right?
Right.
Uh, and I don't know. I think it's like it's still it's grown on me more since our talk
Yes.
at the book club, where I flat out said that I didn't think I particularly cared for it.
You did.
I did.
And yeah.
But I mean I think it's just because again, and I'll reiterate what I said. It's so much sadness surrounds a very liberating experience and a very joyous experience. Love.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, love has troubles, love has struggles, and certainly when you're black and in love. But like, I don't know. I think I'm just in this place where it's like, I think what I want is just more just joyous moments to experience in general. And just more, it's just the more liberating side of all of these emotions that we have. And so it was just kind of a hard read for me. I was like, oh, I'm certainly reading this because I'm about to lead a conversation
Right.
on it. In any other context, I might have put it down for a moment because I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to read about this much pain.
Yeah.
But it is a beautiful. I mean, he didn't disappoint. I tell you that. Like
No, it was a good
Baldwined
book.
He Baldwined it. James
He Baldwin.
I mean,
I mean, my only critique really was that the woman, like
yeah,
Clementine, should have had more like depth, just a tad
more
of
depth.
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More death.
No, not death.
More,
Depth.
yeah, no. I mean, and then
She don't need no more death.
and yeah, and Lisa highlighted an interesting point on that. It was like, and which I saw certainly. Throughout,
Yeah.
which is like, it's because he was written. The book was written by a man.
Yeah.
Which is that's a trap.
Yeah.
That we find ourselves in all the time. But last one I'll talk about is The Talk by Darren Bell. So like I said, I've been reading a lot more graphic novels. Shout out to Dreamers and Make Believers, another bookstore here in Baltimore, as well as Be More Transformed, all for hosting the Graphic Novel Festival, which I got to be a speaker with.
And you did an amazing job.
With Jordan Clark, another Baltimore comic writer.
And podcaster.
So many great Baltimore artists here. Check out the scene if you're here, or come visit if you're not. Great opportunity.
Yeah.
But again, it was a reason to kind of like, oh, I got to talk about graphic novels. That means I got to read 100 in 3 weeks. Okay,
Right.
go. And so it was like, but no, I didn't. It was like, but naturally, and that's what's wild to me. I do that. Like I just hyperbolized a bit, but I definitely am like, okay, I have to crash course a thing in order to like make sure that I push past my imposter syndrome in order to like do all that, right?
Like you feel like you need to be a savant of whatever.
No, I just feel like I gotta boost my education on it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel like I gotta be like the savant. I just gotta like I have to learn more, And so it's like I'm grateful for that. But then, like, I crash into an experience like The Talk by Darren Bell. And then I just have to stop and sit for 5 days, and I'm useless.
Yeah.
Because I just read something incredible.
Right.
And I can't read anything else. Because, like, this book, I mean, it really is just, like, about having the talk about being young and black, but young, black, and male in this specific context. And, like, what your experience can be like with people, white people, cops, so forth. There are various protests and moments of activism throughout the book. It's a generational story. It highlights several moments of life in LA during a certain point of time, like back in the 80s and 90s. East Coast living, a whole lot of things.
Right.
It's just, I mean, that's my point. It covers so much in these pages. But it was just so well done in the way that it discussed these things.
I love that.
And the illustrations were amazing.
No, I love
like,
that.
truly, the graphics were amazing. And so it's like I fully, definitely recommend The Talk by Darren Bell, for sure.
You convinced me from Dreamers and Make Believers, the graphic novel festival, that I am actually going to start getting into graphic novels too after I'm done doing all these other books that I'm on my TBR. But I am interested to delve in because I want to read Kindred on in a graphic novel form, and I think there's a couple other graphic novels that I want to get into, but I'm starting to get more into it. First I didn't know if it was for me, but then I realized if I don't know if unless I give it a try. So I'm excited about that. So my reading was pretty much all over the place. But like I said, fantasy heavy. So I'm gonna start with A Court of Silver Flames. So of course I fell into the cult that is the mass universe. What I did not realize of starting this book, that I was in a 20 book universe. So I'm a little mad at everybody who told me to start this series and this author in particular, because they do all tie in together. And I'm like, come on. So I love this one. I think it has, you can tell because she started writing Sarah J. Maas like around, like she was like 18 or so, a little younger, like maybe 18, 17. Thorn of Glass and some of the other books. You can tell in this book she's like definitely mature, and she's fully in the new genre, because this book is good. Like if you like fantasy smut, this is great. But if you like good, strong female leads, this is also like highly recommend. Faybound.
Okay.
I love Faybound because it is it is what I was talking about earlier, books I find that are written by Black authors. So this one really does do what I think, to be frank, like not all white fantasy writers do well, which is gender bend. Because if you are in a fantasy land or world, why wouldn't you bend genders? Why wouldn't you bend, like, change your hair like every 5 seconds? Like do some crazy stuff, because you already magical. So it deals with, is a romantic fantasy, but it definitely bends genders in a way that I'm like, this is exactly what we're talking about. And I believe it's set on the continent of I read it that way. And it's about two elves and high fae in battle with each other. But it's like all these other things that people make assumptions about. Also caring for the earth. That comes a lot too in Black fantasy writing. I've also noticed is the lack of care of the planet. That also has touches in this too. So I really, really like this book. On top of this, I would also be remiss if I did not bring up another fantasy book, and I should have brought it over here, which is Blood at the Root, which I really enjoyed, which is essentially like magical HBCU, is like unapologetically Black in everything it says. Like I've never read a book like this. Like I mean that because it was like, well, are we doing this in a book? Are we cursing? Oh, like this? I said, oh yeah, okay, sign me up. But I really feel like he captured the HBCU experience really perfectly. Like it just felt, and he did the other thing too that I enjoyed in Faybound, which is gender bend, which I also enjoyed a lot, and really brought in the ideas of generational trauma, but also like not being put in a box, and Black men being vulnerable and exploring their sexuality. Like I was just like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do with fantasy, because like what else are we doing if we can't be free at some magical school? Where else can we be free at? So that was cool. All right, this book, Little Rot. This book was wild. This author in particular always takes me on a wild ride. So right. I think it's like either you hate it or you love it. So for me, it's dark, but I feel like we read dark things. So this is not the darkest thing I've read. So I'm like, so for some people who can't do really well with the darkness, this ain't show. Don't read it. If you can't have deep thoughts and conversations, or really take what would you do if placed in this situation, like Ben's morals, questions of like, what would you do, like all these other things, this ain't for you. this ain't the book for you. But it is for people who want to have deep conversation because it's set in the underbelly of Nigeria. Follows two sex workers, a couple, and a few other things, and like how they all collide together in this crazy, dark, colorful place. And what this book also does, it highlights colors in a way that I've never heard. It's kind of like if Beale Street can talk, like in terms of descriptions of colors and in where you are, like you'll hear like the deep purple of this and this, and you feel like you're in some like deep dark club or like belly where it's like blue on your skin like that. I cannot wait if this ever gets made into something, like all the colors they will bring to shine on black skin. That is what I'm going to be so excited to see. And then my girl Tia, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is probably one of the most magical musical books I've read in a long time. It read like a movie. It's very more reminiscent of 7 Days in June when it comes to love. Like, love is the story, but really is love of oneself and love of accepting of your family lineage and love of your chosen family. And so this is truly a beautiful book, and I highly recommend, and I already recommended it to you. But I think this is something, the musical ties you would fall in love with. They bring up Jimi Hendrix and Prince and like all these other things, and it's set like in the Renaissance, like the right at the start of like the jazz era, like the Cotton Club and the Black Renaissance, like all the other black clubs that we couldn't go to because they made us go, all this other stuff, and then set forward in today's time. And so I think that's like the most beautiful. But so that was our little catch up. So that's just a little taste. So to close us out, I guess, what is something you think folks can expect from your end this season of the pod?
Oh,
Yeah, deep with it.
oh,
Yeah, Dab Ranch. What are your hopes?
Same old B.
Okay. What are your hopes?
My hopes for the pod? I mean, I don't know. I think that's just what it is. It's like, I'm grateful for this moment of like just kind of getting back into the stride of everything and like coming back. I mean, my only hope is to keep going. I mean, I don't know, like, that's the thing. It's like, bruh, like these new beginnings, it's like I don't have many standards or many expectations for life really right now. I'm just like, okay, I woke up this morning. Let's get it. Yeah. I don't know. So it's like, we're doing this today.
Let's get this cheese.
Yo, for real. I've tried not to say that, but like,
it's okay. I'm cordy.
It's like, and it's like, it's a lot of, I mean, it's like, again, it's like just the way life is going right now. I feel weird trying to like have a thing really that is like, that wouldn't just move anyway. Yeah. So I'm like, well, why set it? Just keep going. Just go. Let's see what happens.
I love that.
When there's some foundation, then we'll do something right now.
I love that.
So for now, for the pod, I'm just glad to be back at it, for real.
I'm also glad to be back at it, honestly. But my hope is, though, more authors that we love and adore come into the space, and we're so fortunate to share our space with so many good authors. So that is definitely a hope of mine. And then for everyone to keep sharing, like if they love it, like keep sharing. And that's what I'm really excited about. And I'm also excited that we started the book club, and I think that'll be really good and lead to more further conversation. And really
the IG Live series too.
Oh, the IG Live series, I really love that. And then eventually we'll get to our subset.
Eventually, I don't know, it's like that, even that has been like,
I've been looking at it like,
woo, that's like, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, for real.
Right. You'll be all right.
Amen, and pass the biscuits.
I also do want to highlight really quick that like Tia and a quickie are like two like repeat authors
for me. Yeah, they are.
They are. So it's like you're getting your little like
my little collection, my consortium of authors.
Yeah, these are your people.
Yeah, they are my people. I do love them. they feel good every time, or just make me question my life decisions. Either one is good though. Either one is good. So with that is another end to the first episode of the new season of ... But Make It Books. And I'm Niccara.
And I'm Brandon.
And y'all be easy, y'all.
All right.
Peace.